Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel once again. If you're new here, my name is Magali. I'm a personal trainer. I hope that you like my content, find things that will help you in your journey, in your fitness, and I'm just here to make things simple. So in this video, I just want to go over a few things that I have noticed that a lot of people make mistakes on that would make their training, if they fix these mistakes, their training would be a lot more effective, they would get way better results, and overall just save a lot more time. The main takeaway that I want you to get from this video is that training is not complicated. It is so simple. But where people complicate it is in the small little details that don't really matter, but they ignore the big things. What I will be talking today, I consider these to be big rocks in the grand scheme of things, the biggest things that matter, basically what deserves your most attention. So that'll be it. Let's get started. The first one is going to be track everything. And what I mean by that is track everything. The amount of times I've had people tell me that, I ask them like, what's your routine at the gym? They're like, I don't know, I don't remember. Or they think they're progressing, but they're not really sure because they don't track. There can be a million and one ways you decide to track your workouts. You can write them in your notes app, you can do it on a notebook, on Google Docs, it doesn't matter, but what matters is that you consistently track what you're doing. And why that's so important is because if you don't know where you are, if you don't know your current numbers, your current sets, your current reps, how that workout went, how do you know where to go from there? How do you know if you're moving in the right direction? You have nothing to compare it to because you have no record. So in order to make sure you're actually moving in the right direction, you have to have something to compare it to. Anything that you want to improve, track. Measure, see how it's going. You don't just pull it out of thin air and hope that you're kind of doing the right things. Like, you need to know exactly where you were, where you are now, and what your plan is, and the only way you're going to do that is by tracking. So I'm going to give you a quick little B-roll over this. So on here I do my sets, so I do 3 sets of 12, and then I put the weight that I'm using, the type of exercise, the exact variation I did, about how much I rested between the sets, and then how I felt about that set. I could be like, this was terrible, I did good. It doesn't matter. What you want to do is just put as many notes as possible. Again, that's going to depend on what you want to track, but at the very minimum, numbers. How many sets, how many reps, what was the weight, how much did you rest, so that you know next time you go in the gym, maybe it's not time to try something harder. That's what I mean is, like, to be able to do that, you have to have some kind of track record. Otherwise, you're not going to know if you're moving anywhere. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't find results as often as they'd like because they're kind of staying around the same and they're not really pushing themselves. Your body isn't going to try to do better. It's lazy. We're all lazy, right? So having that history to look back on, now the next time you go to the gym or next time you do your work at home, you know, all right, these are the things that I think I can do more of. This is what I need to stay here of. This is maybe what I need to go backwards a little bit because it's a little bit too challenging, so forth and so on. So, moral of the story, track everything. Nothing, don't leave anything up to guesswork, so that way you can make sure you're moving in the right direction. The second thing that I want to talk about is try to keep your routine the same on a weekly basis for at least 4 to 6, maybe even 8 weeks. So what I mean by this is a lot of people get caught up in the idea of having to switch things around, that if you don't shock your body, you're not going to get progress. Now, there's a little bit of truth to that, but also most of it is basically BS, because in order for your body to get efficient at something and to really maximize the effort, I mean, think about it. You got to do the same thing over and over and over in practice. So if you're consistently changing your routine week to week, you're trying a new booty workout every week or a new ab routine, like, you're not really going to get anywhere because you're doing a bunch of different things at the same time. So for example, let's say you work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you do full body days those 3 days. So you do upper and lower and abs. So if you do 3 leg exercises on Monday, 3 arms and 3 abs, and then you do a slightly different variation Wednesday, and then again a slightly different variation on Friday, that week should be repeated the following week for about 4 to 6 weeks. So every day you shouldn't be doing the exact same thing, but every week you should be doing the exact same thing. And again, that's going to allow your body to really get used to the workouts, really be able to push it and get stronger and actually get better and actually build muscle versus just trying to get a sweat here and there. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to just work your body out, but if you're looking for real tangible results, you want to build a booty, you want to build abs, you have to be able to stay consistent with the same workouts week after week. Now, the only time that you really switch things around is if an exercise just isn't working for you anymore. It's causing you discomfort, it's causing you pain, you're bored, like genuinely bored. Or if you're not really seeing any results anymore, you're like, maybe I just outgrown this program, it's time to try a different one. But at least give it a month, if you can, a month and a half, to really let that workout settle in, get really good at it, and then, you know, if it's not working a month or two later, then you can go ahead and switch it. But 4 to 6 weeks, week after week, keep it consistent, and I promise you, you're going to get way better, way stronger, way better results just by simply doing that. The third thing that I want to discuss is focusing on doing more over time. And the official term for this is progressive overload. If you've never heard of that term before, it's a complicated word for or 2 words for saying doing more work over time. And so I explained in my previous point that you want to be doing every single week the same exact routine. However, on day 1, let's say you did 40 pounds on a squat. Next time you go in the gym, maybe try for 45. Or if you did 3 sets of 10, maybe you can't do more weight, but let's try 3 sets of 15 or 4 sets of 15. You see what I'm saying? So every week, every training session, try to push something, and that will allow your body to build more stimulus, or to have more stimulus, and then therefore build more muscle. If you just do the exact same routine without changing anything, for 4 to 6 weeks, you'll see progress for like the first week or 2, maybe even 3. Then by the month mark, and then, you know, 5th and 6th weeks, you're going to be like, I don't really feel this anymore. I don't really feel like I'm doing anything anymore. And with your training, you never want to feel that way, because that is basically your body telling you, like, we're good. We don't need to grow anymore. There's no need to challenge ourselves anymore. And so your body plateaus. And I'm sure you guys are very familiar with the frustrating feeling of plateauing that usually comes because your body, what the workout demands, the body matches. And if it doesn't go above that, then the body just doesn't do more. It's not going to. It needs a stimulus to work harder. So like I said, if you did 40 pounds on one day, the next week try to do 45, or change the sets and reps. And there's also, you can do different variations if you can't do more sets and reps and weight, like you've maxed out those. Maybe try slowing down a little bit, maybe focus on perfecting your form, all of these different things. And here's a chart showing pretty much a lot of different examples of what progressive overload is. Those are the things that you want to be focusing on and improving every time you go into your training session. So focus on doing more over time, but keeping the same routine, just trying to push the quality, push how much you're doing. And then again, once you reach the 6th week and you've done everything you possibly can to progress, that's when it's time to maybe make some different adjustments, bring some new exercises in, switch the frequency, switch the days, so forth and so on. Now that's a whole other topic, way too long for this video, but just keep in mind that you want to be focusing on doing better every time, and that can look many different ways. It doesn't have to be just adding weight or just doing more sets. It's a bunch of different things. Again, back to my chart that I showed previously. Those are all different examples of things you can do if you feel like your body is ready for that. So that's the third one. The fourth and final one that I want to discuss today is quality over quantity. Now, I know especially being at home, you might be limited with the amount of weight you have or the amount of equipment that you have, and you kind of have to focus on doing more and more and more to get the same intensity because your body, again, adapts. However, working out and training and getting real results and building real muscle and real strength isn't always about doing as much as you possibly can. This is a big misconception that the more that I do, the more muscles that I work out, the more exercises that I do, the higher I go, the better. And with training, you want to think of it like a little bell curve. I'll again show a picture of it. It's easier to describe. So if you're at the very bottom, which is way too little intensity, way too little quantity, you're not going to see any results. Then you kind of gradually come to an optimal top. That's where you're going to get the most results. And then if you go to the opposite, and when it's way too much volume, you're doing way too many things, you're not going to be recovering as fast. You're not going to be able to go to your next training session and give your all because you're exhausted. Your form isn't that great because you're doing so much. You don't want to be on either end of those curves. You want to be at the top. So again, focusing on quality over quantity. How is your form? How are you feeling after your workouts? How is your balance doing? Like all these different things that don't necessarily mean I'm going to do more, I'm going to do more. It's not always about that. So be careful not to do 10 million reps of one exercise, and then by the time you get to the second one, you're all exhausted, but you have to do it, so you're going to push through it, potentially getting hurt, and honestly, it's not going to do anything for you. You're just going to sweat, you're going to get hot, you're going to get really tired, but that's about it. And we're here to get results, right? We're not here to just do some BS workout just for the gram. Like, we want to get real results, you guys. That's the whole point. I know most of you don't train because you just like how it feels. We want to look good. We want to have the result. We want the payoff, and you can, but you have to train smart by doing more quality movements, more quality training sessions, versus just trying to pump your body with as much as you can, as many workouts as you can, as fast as you can. That's not what it's about. Train smarter and harder, not just harder. So that was the 4 topics that I wanted to discuss today. Just a little quick recap. We have track everything, track your sets, reps, weight, rest time, what exercise you did, and any other notes that you think is important for you to track. Second one, keep your weekly routine consistent for at least 4 to 6 weeks before you start changing anything up, to really give your body enough time to really get strong and really master that routine. The third thing is more over time. Focus on progressive overload. Every session you go to the gym, do more, try more, push yourself a little bit more, try something a little bit harder. You want to really push your body and really try to challenge yourself, because that's how results come in. And then lastly, quality over quantity. It's not about how many you do, how fast you do it, how many exercises you can fit in one workout. It's about doing it right, doing the form correctly, really concentrating on doing the best job you can, and challenging your body in a smart and effective way, not just for the sake of sweating as much as you possibly can and burning as many calories as you can. By the way, another little quick bonus tip, don't rely on your watch to give you calories burned as an excuse to go eat those calories later. 1, they highly overestimate. It's a lot lower than it says it is. And 2, that kind of basically teaches our body to use exercise as like a punishment. Like, I'm going to burn these off so I can eat that and then burn them off again. And it's like, no. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found some useful information. Let me know if you have any questions on anything discussed or anything at all. And if you have any other types of videos you want me to do, please let me know. In the next few weeks, I will be filming a couple workout routines, things like that, to kind of visually show you guys how I work out and how I train clients, in case you are, looking for some guidance on that, whether you're at a gym or at home, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that'll be it. Thank you guys again for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.